Hi, I'm Jeff with Precision. Today I'm going to show you how to put a WFK 121090 on. It's a 4-piece Beltline kit for a C4 Corvette. It will do both doors. It fits a 90 to 96 Corvette. If you have an 84 to 89, you're going to need a different part number. Please check our website for complete make, model, year information. On a scale of 1 to 5, this is a pretty difficult job, probably a 4. You're going to have to set aside a couple hours to complete this installation. Tools you will need are Phillips head screwdriver, a socket set, door panel clip removal tool. Before we get started here, I took some painter's tape and I taped off the paint here. We would recommend doing that. There are some metal clips in the outer belt line. When you take them off, you don't want to damage your paint at all. In order to start this job, you're going to need to remove the door panel. There's 11 screws you're going to need to remove along the bottom here, some on the sides, 2 here, 2 in this mechanism, and also don't forget there's one here that's kind of hidden. Now you want to make a note that this screw is the long one. This is longer than the other screws, so just remember it goes right here. Got a couple screws left here, one behind this actual lock mechanism, and one behind the light. So we'll start with this one. Now in order to get this black plastic lock off, you need to pull out and forward. It's just simply a friction fit onto the post. So kind of go slow and gentle. I'm using a hook tool to get behind it. But as you can see, the rod just goes in there, and that's how it's held on. Now the screw is right behind here, so you're going to have to move the rod up or down vertically. Now we got to get to the screw that's behind this light. Another hook tool. There's 2 tabs here and here, so you want to get in here and push down and kind of pull up to get the bottom tabs off. There we go. And then you'll see there's a screw right there. Now I can kind of put the light back in for right now, keep it from dangling around. We can take off the door panel now. You have to be conscious of wires going your power switches and for your power lift gate back here, so you just don't want to start yanking stuff off. But you're going to have to lift up and away. Kind of go slow, make sure you didn't forget anything. And your handle should pop right through here. In order to get the door panel out of the way, you're going to have to unclip some of the electronics. Unclip that. And now this whole assembly right here, you can turn sideways so you don't have to unplug everything. And it'll come through here. In order to make this a little easier and show you guys better how to remove the inner belt line, we actually unhooked the power window switch and the lock switch. They go right here. Simply just pull up on these tabs and you'll be able to pull out the connectors, and then this piece will be free and you can take the door panel away. Alright, now we got the door panel completely off. You can see what we're dealing with. There is a left and a right to the belt line, so make sure you get the right one. But on the inner here it has these tabs and they're bent over the actual panel. So what we're going to do, take the door clip panel removal tool here and just pry those tabs off. Now they'll bend pretty easy. So once you get them started, you can actually finish bending them with your fingers to get them straight. Have to be careful. You can see that this panel is actually broken and this is the original part. So if you come across that, you just gotta be a little more gentle. Okay, now we should have them all straight. It should pull right off. Alright, I got this cleaned up. I can put the new inner back on. Simply the tabs, you're going to have to slide through all the holes here and then bend them over. You can actually bend them over with your finger. Make sure it's seated all the way tight against the door panel. And simply start on one end. We're going to start on the front here and work your way back. So what you want to do is actually take it and grip it together with your fingers, pushing the belt line onto the door panel as tight as you can, and then bend and tab over. And now we got that on, we're ready to reinstall the door panel. In order to remove the outer belt line, it's a little more complicated. You're going to have to take off more things yet. There's 4 bolts, 9/32 is the size you're going to need to remove these. 2 here and 2 here. And that'll give you access to the last 2 rivets, because you're going to have to drill out 3 rivets. 1 here, here, and here. Now we're not done yet. You need to remove the glass guides here and then loosen this glass guide up in order to get some movement in the glass so you can actually take off the outer. So we're going to start by taking off the ends of the door seal first. If this is original from the factory, there's going to be a little adhesive here, but we need to kind of pry it off gently. You want to get access to be able to drill out this rivet and then replace it. Now just as the front one, this is going to be glued down slightly. Gently pry off. And that's going to give us access to this last rivet to drill out. Now we need to remove the glass guides, the rear one, and at the very least loosen up the front one. Now this is a 10mm socket, and what you need to do is pull down the installation a little bit. You'll be able to get to it from underneath. So take this bolt completely out and hold it with your other hand. Kind of reach up and Drop it from one hand to the other. Now the front one is much more difficult to get at. So what you can do is loosen it enough. I got my finger behind it so I can feel how much of the threads are left in the actual glass guide. When it gets pretty flush, I can push it down. What I'm trying to do is get it so it can slide back all the way like that. In order to get even more glass movement back and forth this way, we're going to loosen up these two screws. You don't have to take them out, but loosen them up. And that's going to allow the actual channel that the glass rides up and down in to come away from the glass, allowing for more movement. Now this is a 10mm socket. Same thing, I'm feeling behind the door to make sure I don't back this bolt out too far. Now I can kind of reach in and pull it back down. And now what I've done is allow for more glass movement. Now we're ready to drill out the 3 rivets. I have a 1/4 inch drill bit. We need to obviously drill off the heads of the rivets, and then we'll pull the belt line up and away. The last one is behind the door seal here. Make sure you hold it out of the way and don't tear it up with your drill. We're ready to take off the belt line. The only thing holding it on is the clips. So what you really need to try to do is kind of pull the belt line in to try to bend the clip a little bit and then pull it up. So we're going to do this. And this is going to be the most difficult part of this whole process because these clips are on here really good. Let's take some finesse and resilience here. And this is why we had to adjust the glass to enable to move it back and forth. This allows you to kind of bend the belt line. You just don't want to pull straight up because you're never going to get it out that way. As you can see, this one's being extra difficult. Oh, that clip popped off. The worst ones are going to be right here where the glass is because you don't have as much movement. And this is kind of why we taped it off a little bit, because as I'm trying to get this off, this is moving around with the clip on here. So you gotta be kind of careful, make sure you don't scratch up your paint. One more to go here. There you go. Now we need to drill out the rivets that are left here. I have a 5/32 drill bit. And inherent in GM's design here is once you drill out the rivet, it's going to be stuck right in here. You can't really get it out. There's no way to get it out, but you need to rivet the new one back in. So here we go. Obviously, you want to be a little careful. If you poke through too much, you're going to get the outer skin of the door here. Now we got 2 left down here. We're going to reinstall the outer belt line now, and you're going to have these clips. There's a left and a right. You'll know the difference by these 2 half-moon shapes. They go over the actual bolts that hold the mirror on, so toward the A-pillar, and then the clips will line up with these slots right here. So we want to start installing this and make sure the clips are on the inside of the door panel. Don't have them outside. And just kind of get them behind there. Make sure you got them all the way down right away. And now you're going to have to line up the clips to those slots. Kind of start from one end and work to the other. I have all the clips kind of lined up in the holes, and now I'm going back and actually making the clip slide into the hole and the barbs dig in. So what I'm doing here is kind of pushing on the clip that way and down at the same time. You'll hear it kind of clip in. Okay, once you got them all clipped in, we can come back in and put the rivets in. I'm going to install the rivets now. There's 3 of them. Definitely use an aluminum or stainless steel rivet to keep corrosion at a minimum. What I'm using here is a 3/16 grip and an 1/8 inch diameter rivet. We'll do the last one here. Now the holes will line up with the ones in the door. Whatever rivet you use, make sure it's got a big enough head that it makes contact all the way around the actual hole in the belt line. Last one's a bit of a challenge with the actual door seal again, so you gotta peel it out of the way here. Now the outer's in and we can start reassembling everything. Alright, before we can put the door panel on, I need to put these back to where they originally were, and you'll be able to see the actual dirt outline from the washers, and then put the glass bumpers back in their original spots. Kind of the reverse of how you got it out. You just hand and guide it up there and then grab it with your other hand. Now one thing you may have to do is, I put this bumper exactly where it was before, but now because this is new, our belt line's new, that this rub bumper is actually forcing the glass back this way a little bit, so I need to adjust this to make sure that there's a little play in the glass, but it's still tight. I'll loosen this up a little bit and push it back, retighten it. Now you'll see there's a little bit of play in the glass there. Next up, we gotta put the bolts back into the actual ends of the door seal here. I'm putting the door panel back in. I need to put the control switches back in, just in the reverse order that you took them out. Now we're going to have to get the door handle switch back through. That's not too difficult. Just line it up right. And kind of set it back in a little bit. It's going to be kind of loose there. And now we can hook up the rear glass seal release switch. Now we're ready to put this on here. Now one thing you gotta remember, that this belt line is gonna have to come over this edge a little bit. I have the door panel kind of in position. What's a good thing to do is put this screw in right here, and it's going to help. It's loosely put it in. It's going to help you keep the door panel from falling off as you work on the other parts of it. Now I'm going to put back this whole assembly, and the thing you need to be aware of is the lock mechanism. It'll be easier if you kind of close it, but it needs to go right through here. So you either have to lift this up a little bit to get it in there, or slide it from the front to the back. Well, I'm just going to lift it up here. Get it in position. Now I'm going to lock it so I can get the screw in there easier. You don't want to over tighten the screws, just snug it up good. Now the light we got to take back out and put the screw back up there. Snap the light back in. Now we'll put this piece back in, and like I said, this little part is going to go right in that hole. See, slide it kind of. Make sure it's all works. Now we can put the two screws back here. Going to start putting all the screws in around the perimeter of the door panel. Remember, the long screw is the one that goes right here. Once again, you don't want to over tighten any of these screws. And you're done. We hope you found this video informative. Contact us through Facebook or via the links below in the description of the video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for all of our latest videos. And remember to demand the precision product from your favorite auto parts supplier. Thank you.